Apple keynotes are going far from being exciting every year. You might be thinking that Apple is losing its hype and innovation, but maybe we need to see this in another angle. We are witnessing a change on Apple's strategy starting from 2019. The idea of cheaper iPhone was always with us since the release of the iPhone 5S. First, we saw the 5C, which was actually just an iPhone 5, but in color. Then, the iPhone got bigger, and for all of the fans that were nostalgic for the smaller sizes, we had the iPhone SE, which was just an iPhone 6, squeezed into an old iPhone 5 and 5S body. With the release of the XS, we had a new, cheaper companion called the XR. After years of struggling to provide a cheaper model, the XR was the best-selling smartphone in the market. This might be really surprising for Apple as a tech company, which has always been very successful on marketing flagship smartphones at flagship prices. Much like last year in 2018, we have 3 new iPhone models. However, the interesting thing about this generation is that the cheaper iPhone is the base model this year. It even has a cheaper price tag than its predecessor, the iPhone XR. It is clear Steve Jobs' strategy of one product for every segment is no longer valid. Apple simply cannot compete in an aggressive Android market featuring a variety of different models by different manufacturers. Apple needed to find a new way in order to create a mid-range model, and it seems that they have learned a lot from the iPhone XR. The strategy change is resulting in Apple standing behind the iPhone 11, which when compared to the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, is a lower spec device at a more reasonable price point. So Apple tells us that if you're using your phone on a daily basis by reading emails, using social media, listening to music, and watching videos, on the iPhone 11, which was the replacement of the iPhone XR, the cheap model is good enough for you. Of course, there are very clear reasons for this strategy change. First of them is the sales of the iPhone XR. It was not a flagship, but was the best-selling smartphone of the year. Second is the decline of the smartphone sales globally. This affected Apple to the point where they stopped announcing their sales every quarter. In order to combat this, Apple needed to do something about it. That resulted in Apple constantly increasing the prices of their flagship models. Technology is getting cheaper, and mid-range smartphones are good enough for daily use, resulting in less demand for flagship performance and flagship pricing. The market is changing. Instead of selling a new device every year, subscription-based services are more profitable. They created a new market, and Apple wants its share by releasing services like Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, and more. And these services are working on older devices as well. Apple had a lot of success with iTunes in the music industry and have a lot of knowledge about how a service like this could work. So it's very probable that they will have a lot of success with this new model. This year's iPhones are more affordable, and old models like the iPhone XR and iPhone 8 are not being discontinued. So they will expect some more sales on the lower-end phones, and more iPhones means more subscriptions. Smartphones are getting better and better every year. People already have their smartphones in their hands, and these services already work on most current devices. While selling a new unit is getting harder, making profit by selling services will be a new trend in the tech market. The change of Apple's strategy tells us this. It seems we are getting into a new era in the smart device market. People have already bought them. Now it is time to use them. This means they want more profit from the use of these devices than the sales of the devices themselves.